The type of attention you get and who you get it from determines where we end up in life.
We are we got.
This has already been accepted at the University of Texas in Austin, electrical
In a
engineering.
community where the statistics aren't the best, the default isn't the best either.
The gentleman who's going to be on the field representing Southside,
Defensive captain of the varsity football team.
Mr. Rendon.
His life to giving back to this community.
St. Joseph's Catholic Church Choir.
So I decided to start a nonprofit called Building a Purpose.
And if we can raise that default to be something of higher standards,
Help students find their purpose in life.
I think we can do something
We all we need.
special by default.
Welcome to the Jesus Rendon podcast, recording live out of the rec. Our next guest here is Amanda Mendoza, a South San Antonio graduate who we both went to Dwight Middle School and South San High School. She was one of the best basketball players around in that time. And she is the CEO of On One Marketing and the founder of the Mendoza Back to School Bash. And this is their 5th annual that they had just done. Amanda, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for bringing me out. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's So I like to start out with what's your first recollection of how we met?
So honestly, I remember. Well, you were always just one grade behind me, right? So I'm 09. You're
Right.
So I just remember you always being like, one of the smart kids. I remember your family because you had other brothers and sisters, right? That went to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I would think, honestly, that sports, football, and just sports, and honestly. And so, once we graduate, we all go our separate ways, right? But I always still, heard of your name or what you're doing, and I know some of your family as well. So it was cool to always just, and once I saw you this year, it was on the news. I was watching it, and I remember the building and everything coming out. And so I was like, it makes me proud to be able to be like, man, I know him. I went to school with him, and we grew up together,
Yeah,
So.
no, absolutely. The recollections that come to mind for me was hearing your name at Dwight Middle School on the announcements, and they were like, just scored 100 points.
Right.
But I mean, you were a beast at basketball. I'm sure you still are.
Oh yeah, we'll find out at the alumni tournament this year, so we'll see about that.
Yeah. So what's new? What have you been up to?
So lately, what I've been up to is my all-in-one marketing. I started that back in October, so it's going on a couple of months now. And also, I've been at Southside High School. I took the ESL position there, so now I'm full-time. And from owning my own businesses for so long and marketing for Brighton Dental for so long, I took the leap of faith to put my foot in the door, and now I'm full-time at Southside High School.
Oh, cool.
So that's definitely been a life-changing for me, working like an actual, full-time job, because before I was able to like make my schedules and all that. So that, and right now, my biggest passion is my back-to-school event. So as you mentioned, it's my 5th one. So this year, I plan to go, even harder than last year and see what we can do for the kids.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I've seen it grow. And how many backpacks did you give out? Like over 1,000?
Yeah. So last year was 1,000. I originally started with 100. So it was actually pretty cool because, one year we said 100 and, that sounds a lot, So after that, we went to 200. And, once we saw that line of the 200 backpacks, it was like, okay, we need to do more. So we bumped it from 2 to 5. We took that leap. And then once we hit that 500, I was getting interviewed by KSAT, and she said, this event is amazing. So what do you want to do next year? And so it just came to me, and I said, you know what, I want to give 1,000. And so, it was a challenge, but we made it happen with, all our sponsors, our volunteers, my family, my friends, donations. And so we were able to give 1,000 backpacks filled with school supplies already. So
wow,
that was a big jump.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work to do those types of events and keep them, keep them organized, and especially as you grow and scale to double. It seems trivial, but it's I'm sure the logistics of it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah. So mainly it's every day from now till then is work. I have to get vendors, so the vendors that I get, it's resources for the community. So we'll have the diaper bank, we'll have Gonzaba, we'll have a bunch of like football sports organizations for people that that are interested in signing up their kids. We have law firms that sponsor us and go out there. We have a whole bunch of insurance agencies. We have the free haircuts, the free braids, face painting. And we just have so much more to give to these kids and the families,
Yeah.
So one of the best parts as well is like while the parents are waiting, they get to get massages. So some people don't have the funds for it or the time, and I'm blessed to have a lot of friends that reach out, and so one of my friends, it's essential massages. And this is her third year that she'll be with me, and just free massages to the parents. So. And last year she brought 4 people with her, so
That's
we had 4 people massaging the parents during waiting for their kids.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. Where is it at?
So I have it at Royal Public Schools. It's a private school on Presa, so still in the south side of San Antonio. And so a backstory about that: my first time ever, I had it at the Kids Zone. It held 75 people. So we maxed that out quick, even with just the volunteers and the barbers.
Right.
Our second year, we had it right here off Quintana, actually, at the Nerio Hall. And it was 200 people. So we're like,
Is that right there next to the Easy Shop?
Yeah. I wanted to bring it to the south
I've
side.
never been in that building.
No, it's actually pretty nice.
It's huge. It looks big from the outside. I always see the old cars that park in front.
And it's actually pretty cool. And like I said, I wanted to bring it to our community here, deeper in our roots.
Right.
So I found that place, and it had 200 people. But again, we maxed out the line. We had to like be having a clicker and people waiting outside, and it was just it's hot. So then we upped our people from 200 to 500. So we did it at Far West. Now it's called the Empire Room on where Noche Caliente used to be, actually, on the south side.
Yeah.
I know y'all know where that's
I don't
at.
know Far West, but Noche Caliente.
Yeah. So we had it there, and you know what? I was blessed by Rudy at the time, who ran the place. And at first he gave me the price, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I'll take it. We made a deal. And it's crazy because after him seeing my vision and what I did, he just said, hey, you know what? You don't worry about the payment. Take it as a blessing. So I was able to have no, I didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
So we had it there, and again, that 500 was just like still unbelievable. And we had Royal Public Schools was one of our vendors to help the parents send their kids to a private school. So one of the ladies that been following me since my first back to school event, she saw my vision and everything, and she said, hey, you know what? I talked to my principal. You're more than welcome to have it at our school. And I was like, no way, like this can't be happening, And she was like, yeah, whenever you want to come look at it. So I go to the school, and it's a whole school: cafeteria, the gym. We use the auditorium for the haircuts. We use the portables, for the volunteers. We even have, every year it gets bigger, and I have more ideas. So last year my ideas was for these volunteers that are there from start to end. And so we had like a water station for them, Gatorade, snacks, to just be able to go cool off. So we use the whole school. Their staff is amazing. They it's like it's their job, to be there. And it's a Sunday, everybody has things to do, but they're there. And I also have a lot of volunteers and stuff like that. So yeah, so from here on out, we'll be having it at Royal Public Schools.
Okay.
So it's
and it's always like right before school starts, right?
Yeah, so I try to do it the weekend before, because I know there's a lot. Like honestly, there's enough for everyone. So there's a lot of back to school events. At the time, I don't remember there being so many. Again, this is my 5th, so 4 years ago from now. There was always some though, but now everyone has it. Like realtors have it, even schools now and barbershops, and so there's still not enough for the kids. We still need more and more, and so so it's 11 to 4. It's free to the community. Like I said, I try to stay in the south side. That's why at first, I did them here. But once I saw that, anybody's welcome. We're not going to turn the doors down to anyone. So now it's just like people from all over the place, honestly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's you called it the Mendoza Bath, so it helps. Most of the folks who are helping are your parents and your family.
Yeah. So
originally?
of course, like there had a so the first year I really didn't name it anything. I just put like back to school event. And so after the first event and seeing being able to give kids these backpacks that really need it, parents in line, because we don't open the doors till 11, and people are there at 7 in the morning when we're setting up. So, you look at that and you're like, man, these people really need it,
Give them two.
Huh?
Give them two. They
Yeah,
were here all
right.
day.
Yeah, right. And so, no, so I actually, honestly, with the line, like I said, every year I just try to do better. And so now with the line, I know these parents are like, get up, kids. Like, we got to go,
Right.
got to go get in line. So now we give out tacos while they're waiting. Because, obviously they don't have time to get breakfast,
Yeah.
And some of these parents, whether they're single, whether they're, raising kids on their own or raising their grandkids, because that's what you see a lot also, So nowadays, like, they don't have the help to wait in line. Let me go get the kids food and vice versa. So now we give out tacos, and everybody gets like 2 tacos in the mornings. Because by the time we open the line at 11, these people are waiting for their backpack. They're not worried about food,
Right.
They're waiting for that haircut and that backpack, So,
Well, the haircut's big.
Yeah, the haircut.
Especially back to school, man. The haircut. Everybody's getting haircuts.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I do it the week before. And like I said, it's for the kids, but also for the parents. Like, there's some of these kids, and I'm just speaking like just out of what I've heard from some of these people that give me their feedback about the event is like, they weren't able to take their kids anywhere all summer long, or, we didn't have the funds to do it, or their dad, just any story that they give me. And so, most of it is, thank you, because we didn't get to do anything all summer. So, I figured more activities for the kids, more games, even one of my friends, she was like, hey, can I paint the little girl's nails? I was like, yeah. So she paints their nails.
That's cool.
My cousin that owns Little Tykes Daycare. So right there on Palo Alto Road.
Palo Alto, the blue
Again,
one?
yeah, from the
That's
south side.
2-story one?
No. Right by the Walmart on the other side of the access road by Benavides.
Yeah. Well,
It's like white, but like
Cortez Library, that one.
yeah, right there.
Straight.
Mhm.
Isn't it
So-
2 stories?
No,
Or it's
I
just
don't-
tall.
Yeah, it's just probably
Okay.
tall.
Yeah.
I don't know though, but I've been in there so many times. I don't think it's 2-story, but I gotta ask her.
Yeah.
So she's my cousin. She's been a sponsor every year. And her whole team come out. Great daycare, by the way, guys. If y'all live in the South Side, and she said, hey, you know what, cuz I'm gonna go ahead and make some little bracelets. So she brings like cereals with the kids, makes bracelets. So that's another activity for the kids, And so her and her team do that. They do face painting, and they just try to do whatever to keep these kids busy, So, but my favorite part about it, guys, is just the kids. They obviously they ask like, who did this, and eventually it leads to me. And so they'll come, they'll hug me. Like any pictures that I do have, because I'm really busy, so I do get whatever I can. I have someone recording and taking pictures. But there is those few kids that. Their parent, whether they're telling their parent or whatever, and they come find me. So those are the pictures that I actually do snap. Yeah. So I have someone like each individual kid that, went to the extent to find me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have? How big is your family?
So I'm the baby, and I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and then I have a nephew that we raised. So I call him my brother as well. Do you know him, Tootie, Arturo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all rode the bus together.
Yeah,
didn't we?
that's my little brother.
Yeah.
So he's big now, but he's still my little brother. And so so it's 2. I have 2 sisters and I have 2 brothers, and then
'Cause he grew up in the neighborhood too, right?
Yeah, we all grew up on Tampa, so
Yeah.
right down the street. And so and then I have my parents, and so back to the name. I just the second year, everybody would be like, well, what organization am I donating to or sponsoring? And because of my family, like even extended cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, you'll catch, even my little cousins, they love it. Like that's their favorite, going and helping me. But you'll catch, we might not talk throughout the whole year, but they'll be there.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
No,
So one day
that's
I just said, you know what, let's name it the Mendozas. And so ever since then, it's been that since. We're pretty known for it. Everybody will post it as many times as me. Like, no, if I hadn't said it that I'm the organizer, everybody has just as big of a role as than my brothers, my sisters, my sister-in-law. Some of my best friends, my mom, my dad. My dad's gotten older over the years, and he'll be picking up trash. Him and his friends, so it's cute. They'll go and they'll pick up trash and stuff. So, I even have Natasha, her wife will be. I literally have a whole schedule. Like, we have walkie-talkies. We have it to where like, hey, can you go relieve Natasha at the moon bounces? She needs a break. And we just keep it going. Like, there's no breaks. There's no, or there is, right? But there's really not. We're just always on the go. We got people running waters to the barbers. In the cafeteria, we have the pizza. We have the drinks. Luckily, we're able to use their whole cafeteria setup, like as if you're walking in a regular cafeteria. So, we have our workers like behind the thing, just passing out the pizza. They're able to get like those milk, we get the milks from so they get their drink, whatever they want. Even outside, we're passing out water bottles because it's hot. It's indoor and outdoors, but for the most part, all the kid activities are outside, right? So parents are in and out, in and out. But we have a DJ outside, have a DJ inside. And so, do you remember Little Lucky Albert? He's also from the neighborhood, from Gerald.
On West Gerald?
Yeah, Little Lucky. His grandpa owned the insurance or tax place or something like that.
I need to see him.
Yeah, well, he...
Is your grade?
Yeah, my grade. And so he, he's a rapper, and he's always been rapping since I remember at Athens,
Yeah.
He has like all these street names, on his rap videos. And so...
Oh, that's cool.
He did a HEB video. He was like, I don't know, like...
I know him.
You know him now? Yeah.
He's got... Actually, his daughter went to. She's got green eyes, right?
Yeah.
Her and my daughter went to daycare together, or forget his daughter's name.
Yeah,
but they were friends.
I don't know her name either. Okay, well, him. So he made that HEB video, and we're friends, So I said, hey, you know what? You want to come do a rap for the kids? And man, everybody loved that HEB song because it's HEB, so all the kids knew it. So he went out there, he did his thing, and it was pretty cool. Everybody loved it. The vendors. I have a car club too. Like all the car club goes and they pass out stuff too, like school supplies. We have people giving out free braids, so. They won't look as good as mine, but no, but they, because it takes time. So, but they do offer like 2 to 3 braids of their choice, Right. And we even have someone cutting, girls' hair. But the barbers, man, they do amazing. Last year we were able to cut over 200 kids' hair. So, that's a lot. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
A lot of barbers and time.
Some barbers, they're like, hey, do you mind if I just go for like 2 hours? Because I got something to do. I kid you not, every barber will stay from start to finish because they get into it. Once you're in emotion and
they see the crowd,
like these kids, some of them probably hadn't got a haircut all summer, or some of them go to like just wherever they can afford, So you got some of these top barbers, from San Antonio. We got barber schools. We got everybody. I probably have every barber school from San Antonio attending my event.
Wow.
And so, from a couple years when they graduate, they're gonna be able to be like, hey, I did that. So it's really cool. And then they network with each other. I know my nephew has, if I'm not mistaken, somebody working for him that he met there. I have a cousin that works at another shop, and he has someone working there that he met, so it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Goes a long way. Yeah.
Did your parents go to Southside?
So my parents actually didn't go to high school. So, but that would have been their school.
Yeah. So they went to Dwight.
Mm-hmm. They went to Dwight. And then my dad was like the custodian for a long time at Dwight. So like everybody like my sister's age, they know him and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but do you remember Luis?
Luis last name.
His mom's a custodian at Southside.
What's
do you
his last
remember?
name?
I don't know, but like,
yeah.
Do you kind of remember?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, one day she looked familiar, and so I would wave at her all the time, and she always hugged me and stuff. And finally, the other day, I said, "Is your son Luis?" And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, I knew. Him. Yeah. She's like, I knew you from Athens. So.
Yeah. Well, my tia was a cafeteria lady. My mother-in-law was a cafeteria lady. My dad worked at the school. So
really? Yeah, that's kind of
I guess what Kelly used to be in employing all the people in the neighborhood now, South San really took the load.
Yeah, for real, bro. Working there is so crazy because, like, man, right now we're getting ready for graduation, so I'm really involved. Like, I volunteer in
testing in
anything I
April.
can, yeah. And so, we're doing graduation, and I'm actually gonna volunteer. And so they put me to be like down there with the kids, like to walk them. So I'm gonna be like a line leader, and I'm like, man, you know what? I don't even remember any of my teachers that were down there with us. Like, I don't remember like anything that we're doing for graduation, getting ready. I don't remember any of that. Like, no, I
Did you go?
Yeah, I went. Like, and I don't remember it. And I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, but to be there, working there with the kids is a blessing because, these kids, like, I can relate to them, or, they're always like, what's up, miss? What's up? Dabbing me up. And it's so cool. Or like,
You've always been real cool, though.
Yeah.
You were like super popular. Like everybody knew Doza.
So actually, our senior year, I got most popular.
Yeah, of course you
won
did. You probably would have got it your 8th grade year at South San. You hadn't even made it to South San yet.
Right.
But
I did know a lot of people because of basketball. So
yeah, because
I knew the upper like Candy, Mona, and all them because I was in 8th grade and like already attending like high school things and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
How old were you when you started playing basketball?
So I was 5 years old, and I was in. We didn't have all the organization. I'm not gonna lie that we have now. Now I'm like, man, I would have been so much better with. Now they have so much stuff. The intramurals, like I coached intramurals at Zamora for 3 years in a row, and so that was fun. With the 6th graders. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I started when I was 5, and I played Spurs League, CYO, and I just went up to AU and all the way to, so I made varsity my freshman year, and I played all 4 years varsity. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, I had a lot of tournaments. The AU team back then, it was called Hidden Talent. And if anybody knew back then in my era, right, it was like one of the best teams in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So I got to play all over. Everywhere, out of town, Corpus, Austin, the Valley. So that was pretty cool at a young age. And you know what? It's so crazy because I remember like my parents, we would literally have to print out a map. Mm-hmm. So we would go print it somewhere. We would find somewhere to print it, and we would have to follow that map. And I would be in the back telling my parents where to go. It was so crazy. Like, the error, like, now it's like kids have it made. And, back then, I was blessed though, because looking back, my mom worked at Target. So I'm like, why did I always have Jordans and the best, everything? And then like my dad was, at the time, he was a mechanic. So he was just getting jobs here and there. Mm-hmm. I had other brothers and sisters, but it's because I was a baby. So I would get everything I wanted.
Yeah, Chief Lau.
Yeah, I really was. Even till now, I'm still my dad and my mom's baby.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You're the favorite.
Not the favorite, but one of them. But so it's crazy though to look back and be like, how did they pay for it? That's why I'm blessed now, honestly, mm-hmm. because the originality of like why I started the back to school event, and then goes back to that. Again, my mom worked at Target my whole life, as long as I can remember. Even when I was in South San, like I would go and wait for her, push like 5 baskets, help her out. I knew all the workers. My dad was a janitor, or a custodian at the time, like on base. But still, like, it cost money. So I'm like, I however they did it. And so I remember like growing up, down the street on Tampa, all the kids would come to my house after school. We had a trampoline, we had an above ground pool. I had the basketball court in the front. I had, my mom bringing us out water, snacks, the good stuff. So yeah. I was always blessed to have that. And I just always remember, like, one of the neighbors or someone down the street, even on the next block, would always come over there. And my parents would always give. And even if we didn't have it, and so I said, man, I'm gonna bless people, like, because my friends, I remember telling my mom, like, hey, can you buy my friend a cake? Like, they're not gonna have nothing for the birthday. My mom would do it. Even till now, my mom's really loving. Mm-hmm. And she, they just taught me to always give back, So I carried it on. And
they still live there on Tampa?
No, so actually, when they got divorced, they sold the house. Yeah, but I go there all the time. When I drop off Jordan randomly at boxing, I already showed him. I showed my stepkids, my wife, Jordan. Jordan grew up there, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's why I have him here at boxing. Like, I love it. I remember Christy when I was little. She was running this whole neighborhood, best boxer. And now she coaches my son, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, full circle
Pretty cool.
moment.
Yeah.
Well, there were a couple gyms that came in and out that were. I remember scratch boxing on military.
Scratch with Joe. Yeah, I went there too. Me and
then
Natasha.
I think I want to say Trout trained out of where the hydraulic shop was. There was a
Oh, really? Across by the rec?
and one of those guys, I think it was Trout.
Yeah.
One of them fought Canelo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, trained out of this one. I
Wow.
mean, obviously before it became all that. but-
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great upcoming boxers now. Like, I've always loved boxing. Even when I was younger, that's
You watch it
why.
with your dad?
Huh?
You watch boxing with your dad?
No, actually, I just at the moment, like at the time, I had brothers and they would always be fighting. So I was like, well, I'm gonna hop on that train, and so I would always just fight. And then I was like, okay. Actually, Natasha's dad. One time, I don't know. I guess he was like, y'all gonna learn how to fight, and he took us to Ramos over there by Morrison. Yeah, and so we would go and train and stuff like that, and then I always just liked it, So, but at first I used to punk my son, and you saw how big he is.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, and I would always play with him, and he would be like, stop, and now he always does that to me, and I'm like, stop.
Stop! I got arthritis.
Yeah. So now the script flipped a little bit, but he has his next fight in April on the 18th in Corpus, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
He's so cute though. He was like, what are we gonna do next year, because I'm getting in more activities for school, so I can't do both. And I'm like, I always wanted him to play sports like me. I couldn't wait till he got to high school to play football, to go to all his games, to be the parent, and just make him be good, like how I was in high school. And he tried football and it wasn't his thing, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna force you. But I was like, he liked boxing because he found his strength, because he had never played the sports before. So right now I'm gonna keep him in it. Obviously I'd rather him be educated, but we're juggling between both right now. So he got out of the Interact Club at 5:15. I picked him up. He just I got him a fruit cup real quick and then rushed here. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. And that's just him. I have 2 other kids in sports as well. So
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, no, the kids, you become their taxi driver and
For
and
real. We're on their
everywhere they're
time.
going, yeah, wrapping around them. And well, for us, the things that we have, we bring them with us. That's why you see all the bikes outside. You see all the crayons under
For
the
real,
desk.
it's so crazy. My 6-year-old, he's in football all year round.
What league?
He's with the Toros. I believe it's Taifa.
Taifa.
From what I know,
Is
yeah.
Pop Warner still around?
I don't know. You know what? I think
'Cause
now
it
it's just moved
turned- it's
up.
just-
Yeah, it
it's
just
just
turned into
Taifa.
big organizations now. Yeah. So last year it was pretty cool because he made the Pro Bowl. So
Oh, really?
he had to get dressed up and they wear their Pro Bowl jersey and it's pretty cool. We had to dress up too.
Yeah.
So it's a good experience. And then we also got to go to nationals for cheer. So we went to Florida for my stepdaughter. So
Man.
so we have yeah.
No, you're
We're-
talking international now, man. No,
Yeah, I
it's still
know.
almost international.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, this next part I want to jump into. It's a workshop we do with our students, and actually, your son's in our nonprofit in our program. And we walk through this with him, and it's a good tool to really level set and bridge the gap in generations. I know we're close in age, so it's maybe not so much generations here, but it helps you to really see where you've come from and where you're at. So if you wouldn't mind, run through your timeline, right? Essentially from when you started, when you were born to where you're at now, by sharing an impactful event that happened each year of your life. The floor is yours.
Man, nobody's ever asked me that.
It's deep.
Yeah, it is. No, so something, a little timeline. Like I said, played sports, or basketball, all the way since I was 5. But I actually had a great time from 5th grade or 5 to maybe like middle school. And then that's when it got a little harder on me for sports, because I wanted to make varsity. So some of the best times, or like, a positive thing in my life was making varsity with Coach Reen, because, not only was she my coach, but like, she like we got connected to where she became, closer than a coach to me. So I think that was one of my best parts, is like, having a coach that you bond with, that you trust, that, you're going to that believes in you. So you're going to believe in them and go with what she says. So I was pretty successful throughout high school, and I was in Upward Bound as well. About my junior going to senior year, my parents split up. So that was like new to me. I was like, what? Like, I never even knew they argued. So I was like, that's crazy. Like, it happened like, obviously not one day to the next, but to us. So I was like, that threw me off. I kind of just like, I was a baby, so I was still at home. Everybody was already like married and out the house, kids. I have like 20 nephews and nieces. So at the time, that was one of my like hardest part, because like I said, I was still at home. My brother that I mentioned we raised, he was always like staying with his friends or his aunts. So it was really just me at home. So I think that was the toughest time for me, because when my parents split up, my dad also had a heart attack. So he had open heart surgery. And like I said, my family was already like doing their own thing. They had to work and stuff. So, I was still in school, but, I remember walking from Southside to Southwest at the time when it was still open. And I would be there with my dad, waiting, like just visiting him, going home. And that's when my parents split up. So it was kind of a bad timing to like be with my mom, be with him. It was just I stayed back with my dad at the time. So it was just me and him at the house. So I was still going to school, so I would go home. It was late, I would get rides. Like, it was crazy, because like I never thought I would experience that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that was the toughest time. And then after high school, I didn't go the college route. So I was like, you know what? My parents split up. I'm not blaming it on that. But to be honest, I lost interest in the path I had, Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, college is not for me. Like, I already did my time. Like, my parents always just said, I want you to graduate. I want you to graduate. So to me, I was like, hey, I graduated. Yeah. And honestly, I went to, Palo Alto, right away in the summer. And it just wasn't for me. So I was like, I'm going to go a different route. I went to Hallmark, and so I went to Hallmark, I finished up school there, and then they were going to close. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, okay, being in Scrubs is not for me either. So I didn't continue with that. But then I started working at Toyota. And I worked at Toyota for 4 years. I became a team lead. And, ever since then, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this is where I belong, leading a team and, teaching people what I know, the good way. Mm-hmm. And so I got blessed, and I was a team lead there. While working for Toyota, there was a company that came in, and it was called QLS, so Quality Legion Service. And it was just like some ladies that started that business, and they brought it from Mexico here, and they were doing quality. So I was like asking them stuff. They're like, yeah, whenever you're ready, come with us, and we'll make you like, in charge. So I took that. I was like, hell yeah. So I went, I did it, and I stayed with them for a long time. And then one of my friends, she was my boss, and she had a heart surgery, and she passed away. Mm. So yeah, it was really hard because we were close. And so I was like, nah, it's not the same with her no more. So I kind of left Toyota, and then I worked at a plasma center. So I was working at a plasma center, so different, right? And I was good there. So I became team lead. And that's where I met like all of my best friends that I have right now to this day. And then I was their team lead, and I would be the one, because when you donate plasma, you can pick like, hey, I want Amanda, or hey. So I was like really highly favorite there. So like everybody would pick me. I would be like trying to rush because I had so many people, but everybody would be like, stop telling them to pick you. I'm like, I'm not. And I just kept growing there, and I made it all the way to the top there. And once I stopped there, it was COVID. So in 2020, it was COVID, and I was like, you know what? I'm open my own business. So my friend kept bugging me that he was selling a moon bounce. He was like, I know you want it. I know you want it. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. So I bought it, right? For like $500 now. They're like up there. So I bought it, and he was like, I have another one. He's like, if you do, I don't remember, but he's like, let's do 2 for this much. I was like, all right. So I started renting them out, and from there I bought like more and more and more. So eventually I came up with a name that was called Bounce That Ass. And I was like, dude, how is like a school gonna book me, a church, like, but that's me. Like at the time, I'm like, back then, I mean, now I'm not gonna lie, I probably, like where I'm at now, I probably would not have named it that. But at the time I did. And so I was like, I'm gonna call it Bounce That Ass. Like, and I had one AS. So it was like as if you really said it. And so I had banners, sure enough, shirts. I had everything, business cards, and like I said, the schools, how the schools gonna book. Southside had me. Every school in the district, I was for field day. They all had me with my banner too. Bounce That Ass. Like I remember, I tell my wife all the time, we're passing by, like going to Rosedale, and I have a lot of friends. Like. They why are they gonna go with someone else? They can come to me. There's enough for everyone, but that one friend still comes to me and so forth. So my friend Walter, I don't know if you know him, Walter.
Southside?
Yeah, he's related to Jay Chapa and all them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really remember his last name right now off the top of my head, but he goes to some church, right? And it's right there off Couples, and when everybody's driving by, you can't miss it. And he told me, and I was like, yeah, I got you. And they rented like 2 water slides and like other stuff from me. So they had like a whole parking lot full. And I was like, hey, like, the church, like, do they know? Like, he's like, yeah, it's fine. And my banner was big, and there you are passing by, and it's like Bounce That Ass, and the church, like, in God with each other. And I was like, oh, man. But, hey, it was there. So it was a good thing. And that's when I really started getting my name out there, is like, sponsoring moon bounces to churches, kid organizations. It's really cool. My friends do it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes money's not always the best in your favor, so you can't always just, hey, here. I mean, imagine you be working for free.
Right.
But I did it, and I got blessed back. So now I have moon bounces at my event, a dunking booth, an obstacle course, so everybody shows love, and But yeah, and so now after that,
you still do it? You still do
no. So I don't do it anymore. I recently just got back into business. I'm gonna start helping my friend. So I do have some available, right? But I ended up selling that whole company, and it was just too hard to find workers at the time. They're like my brothers. My brother owns a landscaping business, so like my nephews were working with him already. My nephews were so it was hard. At the time I had like a 12-year-old working for me, doing all the work, and then he grew all the way to like 17, still working for me, and now he's grown and having a baby and stuff. So but yeah, so sold that, and I had a shop. I tried that for a little bit. I had like a lash tech in there, 2 gems. I had a vintage because I wanted a variety, so I had a little bit of everything, card reading. So that was going good for a while, and then decided to part ways with that. And then I got a taco truck. I'm like, you know what? I like to cook. And my papas, have you ever tried one of my papas?
You're
That sounds
good with
funny,
those
right?
marketing things, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, so my papa, it sounds funny, right? And again, here's my name, right? I called it Los Papasotes. So it was me and my friend at the time. I always wear a hat. So it was a potato, and it had a hat and my Ray-Bans, and my friend made it into a logo, so it was like dope. And I called it Los Papasotes. So I would make a baked potato with brisket or asada, cheese, all that. And the potato was like this big, like it was so huge. I didn't even know, like I was like, should I go smaller? But no, everybody loved it. I'll sell it for $15. Started pulling up on Palo Alto Road. I would sell out by like 9 o'clock, and I would sell 60 at $15, and I would make $900 on a Friday. So I started making a flyer. I started going ham on those. I started telling the schools because I was subbing at the time. And then I would just large selling, and so those were going good. So when I got my aunt told me, hey, do you want to work the taco truck with me? I was like, yeah. Started doing it at Hunter's Corner, actually. So with Derb, I was like, let me hit up Derb and show some love over here. So we were selling food. I told my aunt, let's try my papas, and she kept being like, yeah, but you're gonna have to bring double work, and like, come on, let's just try it, Tia. And she's like, all right, mija, like if you want to do it, that's fine. So we did it, and it went good. She was like, yeah, man, let's start doing it. Like it's like I told you. So we started doing it. Well, then not even like a month later, she was like, mija, I can't do this no more. Like she's like, it's not the same. She's like, I don't want to do this no more. I was like, what? Like her taco truck was brand new. So then finally she's like, you want to buy it? I'll sell it to you. And I was like, I can't buy a whole taco truck. Like, she's like, no, like I got you. We'll do payments and all that. So I was like, okay, now you're talking. So man, I sold my home bonds business. I did the taco truck thing. I was at RNJ's, everywhere, everybody, wherever anybody wanted me. And I met my friends at Papigayo. They're barely putting it up. Have you heard of that? Papigayo.
I think, are they one of the ones who signed up for the parade as a vendor?
No.
That's chicken on a stick.
That's chicken on a stick. But Papigayo, cool dude, from the Southside as well. And now he owns it. It's right by Bud Jones. Pretty cool spot. And,
It's a truck?
No, it's a bar.
Oh, okay.
And so I was driving by, and I had my taco truck and everything. I was driving by, and I was like, I probably heard all the pans falling and stuff. And I pull in, and I see him like he's barely like fixing it.
Yeah.
And me, I'm always trying to like meet somebody. So I stop. Hey, what's up, man? I own this taco truck. Blah blah. Let me know when y'all are like up and going. I'll come out. And he's like, I was still at RNJ's at the time with Emily, because Emily owns it, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and her husband, and so I was still there. And he said, yeah, whenever it's ready, like come try it out. I was like, yeah, I could bring you people. You help me out. He's like, all right, I won't charge you. So then I was like, okay. So once it was ready, sure enough, he wrote to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll be there. So I started going there, and I established time there. It was fun. Like now, I consider them some of my best friends, and so I started doing it there, and then after that, I went through a breakup. So you know how a breakup is. You want to act like you never partied in your life. So I'm partying. I started doing all this stuff, crazy life, honestly, and it made it easy for me to be like, man, I was dealing with just dealing with the breakup in general. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was working with Brighton still, so I was always going out of town. I don't know if you had saw me like always going out of town for like 2 years straight. Mm-hmm. I'll go to New Mexico, everywhere. And because I was the only marketing person for the nation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they sent you everywhere, huh?
Yeah. So they sent me everywhere. And one time I was in Houston for a whole month, so it was cool though. Mm-hmm. And so after that, I was like, you know what? Getting a worker and they wouldn't show up, or because that's my name behind it. No matter what I say about this worker not going, it's still like, well, I booked with you. And so so I just I decided to get rid of it. I got rid of it, and still kept doing marketing. And that's when I started my all-in-one marketing. I left Brighton in November, so it's only been a few months, and everything just happened so fast. Like there was no time to waste. It was like, what's your next move? And that's when I chose all-in-one marketing, and it's been going great. I love it, and especially working at the high school. I got my own office, so I have a lot of time on my hands to be able to do work there, and work for my all-in-one marketing. It definitely sets more of a tone for me as well, and I love meeting new people. And so so it's been going good. Going good, but those are some of the.
That's what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. What going in and out of these businesses, what has been the greatest lesson you've learned through all of them?
So I would say just overstepping. The reason I say that is because you want to help these businesses that are obviously gonna come in here and rent from you. So when I had my store, I would say, hey, you know what? Come now. There won't be a deposit. I want you to see what I bring to the table and what you can do here. So I would be like, you know what? No deposit. Let's go ahead and come in. And then, I would trust them, and they're going to do their part. And then, after a while, that's when like they just take advantage, and it just went all to waste. Like everything you just said just went out the door. So I would say honestly, just the way you manage things, because like I said, back to the taco truck, you would hire, and it's hard to pick, right? Like you're gonna trust this person because they're not handling food, but they're handling money. And it's like you teach them and you taught them, and then they're gone because they made that little bit of money. So now it's like I have to teach someone else again. So really, it was just I would say just making like better choices on who you pick to actually like help and stuff like that. So other than that, man, I really had some great experiences. With the moon bounces, I have people to this day that became friends, or I've helped a lot of people that own moon bounce companies right now with everything. Like I will literally send them people like till this day. Like people still come to me. When a school needs them, I send them to my friends. I let them know the maneuver, like to maneuver around things. And basically, like I want to teach people, what made me successful. So, especially when it came to my store. My store was one of the best businesses that I had.
Well, that's great. It's a great lesson learned. Did you have a mentor or somebody to really guide you through all that?
No, you know what? I didn't.
How'd you figure it out?
So to be honest, I've always been like I'm gonna make this happen kind of person. So, I just did it. I literally just did it like just step at a time. And if I would have had, so going back again, I told you I started my moon bounce company like 2020. So if I would have had like maybe you or April in my life now, or different people that are in my life now that if I had them before, I feel like I would have had a more different route. Only in like I was always successful. I'm not gonna lie, like in every business, especially because people know me, so they trust me, so they come to me.
Right.
So if you're on Facebook right now and it's like, who would I get a moon bounce from for Easter? I got 20 friends and 20 strangers that are all gonna tag me because they heard about me. So yeah. So I didn't have a mentor. That, like I said, I just did it all, maneuvered all through what I thought I knew, and but now I feel like that's all available now. But like I feel like, so let's just say like I have all-in-one marketing, right? But it's a little different but let's just say I have like another store opportunity, then yeah, like that's where I would want to do like everything like the right way, Yeah. And I did. I mean, my store was open. I had everything I needed, but I feel like there was a little more things that I could have done to it, But yeah, so I didn't have any mentor at the time.
Well, when you do something for the first time, you don't know what you don't know, and to have the courage to go in there and do it and make it work. And then look and see. I mean, it seems like your opportunity is always led into something just a little bit bigger, and growing. And
definitely.
And as you've built up the relationship and the reputation, the masses follows with you, right?
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
no, that's very insightful. And I think a lot of times there's so many, especially in this generation, there's so much distraction, so many things to do, and I get caught up in a lot of things too. And just like you, being pulled in 3-4 different directions and wanting to help everybody. But yeah, I think the moral of most of it, it's like you don't know what you don't know, and you do the best that you can, and then you evaluate afterwards, and if the opportunity ever presents itself, well, you've got a bigger team now, more resources, more experience. So no, that's awesome. What I asked this question. This is one of the hard ones right here, but just after hearing your timeline, what is your purpose in life?
So I feel like my purpose in life is to help people that don't get the help that they need, whether it be like where to start for their business, or even with their personal problems. So I think my purpose in life is like like that saying, God put me in your life for a reason, or God did this for a reason. And I honestly think that my purpose in life is to be able to help people, because whether it's a flat tire or someone running out of gas. Like the other day, me and my wife helped 2 young kids, and it sucks to be like, I don't have the money, but they were like, oh, my Cash App didn't work, and so I put them gas, and then we filled up we put the gas, and then we followed them to the store, and they were still saying they're having problems. So I put them like $5-10 more bucks, and I think that my purpose is just to be there whenever like someone's struggling, and even with all the problems I got on my own, whether it's family wise, relationship, my kids, and I always still will be going through my own thing, but want to help somebody else, and so honestly, I think my purpose in life is to be able to do that for people, and have a good connection with those that I do meet and stuff like that.
Okay. Where do you think that comes from?
So I think it comes from like growing up as a family. Like we were always together. Like I remember, now everybody's doing their own thing, of course they have families, kids, grandkids, but when I was little and growing up, my family was always at my house, even my aunts, my extended family, we were always the go-to house. So whenever we were the house where the cousins were on the floor, on the bed, on the, hey, you're sleeping here tonight because they're going to be here. Like, we're always that, I wouldn't necessarily say like hotel, but we were always that safe place for everybody. My friends would run away, and I don't know how many times, like my parents, they were older. I'm going to say this. I had like probably the oldest parents when I was in high school compared to like all my friends. And, I don't know where they like came from, and you know what, I haven't even asked, but I know that my parents were always like giving, so I honestly have 3 friends that I can name on the top of my head. One that I still talk to this day, and they were going through with personal problems at home, and they ran away and they stayed with me, and so I think that's where it comes from, that had I not been there, or their friend, or my parents weren't cool to be like, yeah, let them stay here, I don't know where they would have been right now, you know what I mean? So I think it comes back from how I got raised, and where I come from, and I mean my brother too, like he's just like me, he'll go cut a tree for free, and we're always just helping. Like that's just what I remember, growing up. Like my brother's pulling a car, pushing a car. One time the Spurs won, and my brother down military, like we had just started too, and my brother literally freaking put a chain, and he told the dude like, do I put you to the side or put me to the side? And then my brother's like, nah man, we're gonna go down military. And we were freaking pulling him all the way down military, honking still, and then we ended up like pulling him somewhere. But yeah, so those, and
now the Spurs just won, man. You're coming on the parade. You're coming on the further
yeah,
right.
you're coming out, and again, like my dad, I remember like, and man, I always say this, like I'm blessed to have my parents, because now I'm like, we're not taking everybody home and blah blah, like, but we end up sometimes do. But man, I kid you not, like after practice, whether it was basketball, school, a debut, anything, like we were taking everybody home, and on top of our laps in the back, like two rides, like 2 trips, like yeah. So I just got lucky to have my parents, and so I think it straight comes from that, like. I mean, and it goes back to the back to school event. Like that biggest vision is being able to help people that my friends that struggled or didn't have what I had. You know what I mean? And till this day, I also talked to a friend. Of course, like I don't want to say no names, but till this day, like he goes through his own things. And I'm just like, but when I see him, we'll talk. Like if we never stop talking, and it makes me feel good because he still like randomly out of all his problems, he still texts me like, I hope you're doing good, or I love you, or calls me for 5 seconds. But so those are the good things, is that I get that call,
Right. Touches base. So a lot of it comes from your parents and the little gestures they did to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
The kids that didn't have people to give them rides home. And so it's this sense of maybe inner duty that you have to take care of others that you saw modeled from your parents.
Yeah. Even at Southside right now, I'm like, I wish I could take like kids with me, or like, hey, you want to ride? I see them walking, or I get close to that one kid. And same as boxing, like, my son, and it goes back to my son's the same way. Like, he's like, hey, since I got a new headgear, can I give it away? Or, so it's good because he sees that from me, and it's gonna keep going,
Right.
So or Jordan will be like, he started that window cleaning. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So he always wants to charge me for a chore or something. I'm like, dude, go do something. Go cut the yard or something.
I'll pay you, but you won't be able to eat.
So he's always trying. Can I do this for $5? Can I do this? And I'm like, why do you want money anyways? Like, and he's just like, for when I want something. So he has a good head on his shoulder. And I said, why don't you try to make a business? Like, you always see me. He's like, well, can you buy moon bounces? Now I'm big to do it by myself, And so I was like, I was thinking obviously to help him. And I said, well, why don't you start cleaning windows? I know a lot of businesses. I do the marketing. I'm always at someone's shop or cutting my hair. So he did. And he called it J&D for Jordan Mendoza because I'm his manager. That's what he said. And it's called JD Squidgy Squad. So he was like, well, I don't have a squad. And I'm like, yeah, but eventually in the summer, you're going to have to get help. So yeah, he called it that. I bought him all his stuff, and he did my nephew's barbershop for $50 the other day. That's cool. We rushed home, and then he didn't want to do it anymore. So we rushed home. We got out of school, rushed to my nephew's barbershop on Pressa, finished. He's dripping sweat, come drop him off. I'm like, hurry up, change and get out. And he's in boxing. So the next day I'm like, hey, I posted it. You already got 3 more places. He's like, can I do it on the weekend? I'm like, well, you can't just do it on the weekend. You go with your mom, And then he's like, well, I need to pick the hours. And I'm like, well, I need to take you, So he was like, what did he say? He said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do because it's already getting busy. He's like, so they're going to have to wait till the summer. I'm like, wait till the summer. So I try to teach him, like, what do you think I do? I get out of work, come home, rush to get you to practice. Like, that's going to be life. So, yeah, so he started that. So he's real loving. Oh, but that's why I brought that up. Because I told him, look, go in there and practice. Go ask a store. And then he was like, he's like, I asked them, but they didn't have money. Like, they don't have money. Can I just do it? So I'm like, that's where, he gets the concept, or if we see a car like passing and they're pushing it, he's like, wants to help, But I'm like, I can't always help. Sometimes I'm in a rush too. So, but yeah, so it goes, hopefully,
well, to start that young and to have that sense of duty, that responsibility. Yeah, I mean, maybe he might be a little resistant at first, but and the fact that he even started, right? And then, like how you said, well, they didn't have money. Now he's doing it for free, and adding that community aspect to it that gives back. So
and so and he in like I said, he has a good head on his shoulders, and like my stepkids too, they never had to go to a back to school event or anything. So last year they were able to attend it and be there. So as I'm getting ready and there's stuff, my stepson, he'll be like, here's a pencil for and so it's cool because it implants you and it goes on to generations. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but the fact that they're seeing like, hey, you know what, when we got here to set up, those kids were waiting for 3 hours in that line,
Yeah.
And as much as I want to like back to that subject is as much as the line, I think about the shade and so we have shade for them. We had canopies before. And so I wish like we could have like where the kids are doing something while they're waiting in line, but it's only so much you could do. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, hey, they're getting out of there with a free haircut, a backpack, and a lot more than what they came into it with.
Definitely. So. Last year, my cousin from the Little Tykes, she gave me 5 cribs, so anybody that was pregnant got to take home a crib in a box. So that was good too.
Yeah. Yeah, we've collected so many baby things over the years, cribs and
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's awesome though. What's the greatest advice anybody's ever given you?
I mean, my older sister, she would always just tell me like the sky's the limit, and she would just be like, whatever. If you have something like that you want to do, just put your mind to it, and don't stop till you got what you wanted out of it. So, I would honestly just say, it, just basically that, like just once you start something and just keep going till you finish, and even if there's like bumps in the road, is just never stop, just never stop. And so yeah, so my sister taught me a lot, so that's why I got into marketing, and she always just told me like just keep going and this and that. So I did, and it's been good to think that, because I mean, I wouldn't have been working at Southside right now, to be honest, had I not left Brighton. And I didn't have any certifications or anything, and once they told me like we'll help you through them. So and I did, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, man, I'm not gonna do all that, like I'll just stop, and I didn't. So that's what sticks with me, is like just doing it. Like I would remember she would be like, go get your DBA, go get, like she would always tell me all the time repeatedly, and so I would actually just be like, okay, I gotta go do this. So so yeah, I was just always like, that would be my best advice, is my sister's telling me like to keep going till I accomplish what I wanted. So I always looked up to her though. So definitely. Have you ever met my sister?
I don't think so. So this is the one. How many years older, or how many order wise?
Man, I would always make fun of her because I would say she was about to be 50, but I don't remember. I want to say I don't remember, because I would just always make fun of her about that. But I would want to say like maybe like 10 though, like 10 years older than me. And yeah, she has like.
But order wise, do you have another one, or she's the next one in order?
No, order wise. So it's me, and then my sister Delita, and then my brother Bernie, and then my sister Tina, the one I'm mentioning, and then my older brother Arturo. So those are the little, and then Turi is
that's his son.
That's his son, my oldest is, yeah.
Yeah, because his name was Arturo, right?
Yeah. So
he's funny.
He was.
Both of y'all, man. Y'all are hilarious.
My brother now, he has.
Y'all need to come to the last Friday and say some jokes over here at the stand-up, man. You kill it.
Yeah, my brother has. Now he has 3 girls and 1 boy. So 2 that he helped raise and 2 of his own.
Nice.
Yeah, so he has so his name's Arturo, but we call him Turi. So he has a son, and he named him Turi.
He did.
Yeah, it's so cute, man, so cute. Looks like his twin.
Are they really?
But yeah,
that's awesome.
So cute.
So your sister, you learned a lot from, and she's the one who told you that advice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She would always just
she still
push me. No, she actually left Brighton as well. She's doing her own thing now, but one time she had it's called the Mona Lisa Center, Mona Center, and it was named after my grandma Ramona, and it was a long time. Yeah, so it was where kids can go
Ramona
after school.
Mendoza.
Reina.
That's
Yeah, it's my dad's. It's my dad's mom.
Oh, your dad's.
But you know what? My mom and my dad were both Mendozas before marriage.
Really?
So they're both still Mendoza.
So you're 100% pure.
I'm pure, baby. I'm as good at. It's actually crazy because Coach Reen, my coach, she gave me Doza. So now it's like everyone, kids, everybody.
Doza, yeah.
So when I made varsity, there's 3 Amandas. So she would call me Dozer because I would always like go in on it, so it's like bulldozer. And then, she started calling me Doza, and I've had that since. Like, even now, it's just, when you hear that, it's like, it's like Doza, like, oh, there's one of me. There's one of me. So, yeah, I love it. And the kids, and stuff like that. I mean, of course, I'll be like, hi, Amanda Mendoza, but I'm not like Doza. Nice to meet you. But eventually, I let them know my name is Doza.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my sister, she had that Mona Center. It was named after my grandma. And
Where's it at? Where was it at?
you know what? It was right there on Palo Alto Road, like on McNarney or something, on Tedder. Somewhere in that area. It's a barbershop now at the corner. Like
Where the
by
feed store
Georgia's
was?
and all
Where
that.
the feed store is?
Where the feed
Where
stores
the
at?
feed store used to be? Where the little... there's a...
It's like...
right before the convenience store, there's a little convenience store across from Georgina's, no?
Okay, yeah, probably. Because it was right there, and it's a barbershop now. And she called it that, and kids were able to go after school and do homework, use their computers and stuff like that. So she also is like a marketing person. And that's how I started my pop-ups, is because I worked with Brighton. It was during COVID, and she said, we need to bring more customers, so let's have a pop-up that when people stop, we can give them, Brighton info. It's like, okay. So we started it, and it started going good, and I just kept it going. So these pop-ups, I typically, so I charge $25. And I get there, I set them up, and I'll be there the whole time. I advertise them, tell people about them, post them. So these pop-ups have been really cool because my buddy Left Field Barbecue, Richard, I met him.
He the one who was at the Sip and Sit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I met him 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, he came to I was his first pop-up ever that I hosted. He came with the regular Academy canopy, tablecloth, black, sold food. He came to when I had my shop. He came to that one. He upgraded. Now he has a freaking trailer. Like, he's big now, you know. So it's cool because
they had a big old double canopy. And
so those are why I do it. Like, I'm not saying I did the cooking and all that, but those are the things that, hey, you know what? From here you went to here, so now where you're at now, and and one day he'll look back or be on a podcast and mention how I'm mentioning how he started with me to now, and vice versa, he's gonna mention that. So it's pretty cool.
yeah. Well, I think what you put out there, that's like good karma that comes back, and
yeah, most definitely
community based, and
yeah.
No, that's awesome. So this one might get you a little thinking. What's your greatest weakness?
Greatest weakness, man. That is a tough question. So I think my greatest weakness that I would honestly say is that it's easy for me to like know when somebody is crossing you, basically. My greatest weakness is like, if I feel that, is that I will basically directly like think in my head, and then like there goes my weakness to where I'm like I start thinking otherwise. So I'm like, nah, they're good still in my books. And then it comes to find out, like, I should have left it in the past, because that's my greatest weakness. It's like I want to see the good in people, and so, but then they'll turn around and like, I wouldn't necessarily backstab me, but betray me or not be loyal to me. So my greatest weakness is honestly like just giving too much like leniency to people, and I learned that over the past, because no matter like how much you help someone or what you did for them, they could just turn on you any day. So my weakness would be honestly that. I think so. Like when you asked that question, I had to put some thought into it. And it's also that is my greatest, and I would say right under that would be is helping people, like over helping, because I got a lot going on already, and I'm trying to do 20 things, juggle 20 things at once, but I'm still gonna make sure that I stop doing what I do for other people, and it should be like, hey, sometimes you got to do for yourself too. So I slowly been getting better at that, though. Slowly.
Yeah. Well, sounds like you give too much of yourself.
Yeah, that's really, really, really right there.
And I think that sums up both of them, right?
Yeah. It's
you allow them to go past that, and you're giving yourself up.
Yeah.
That way forward, it's you're losing. No, those are great ones.
What was yours?
Oh man, I've got so many. I think off the facade, my professional answer is gonna be like, I'm a horrible reader. That's my like politically correct answer for weakness. But my greatest weakness, I think, right now, and people wouldn't see it, but and it's the irony because I gave it up for Lent. I gave up being lazy. And why did I give up being lazy? Because because during Lent you're trying to be more like Jesus. So the whole idea of giving something up is because it's gonna make you more like Jesus. So when I say lazy, I mean I'm talking across the field. And when I wake up, do I wake up on the first alarm? When I get up, right? Because if I was disciplined and I wasn't lazy, I'd get up on the first one. There's no questions asked. When I say I'm gonna do something,
you'll be like tomorrow.
Yeah, or put it off. When I make a commitment to somebody, I feel like I give my word, and I've always put that down. But from a general, I think, and I've never said this in any podcast that my greatest weakness is that I'm lazy. But I think it's that internal battle, and I've reflected more on it now, knowing that I'm conscientious, proactively trying not to be lazy on anything. Right, it comes to going out. I haven't gone out to eat, right, because I'm cooking at home, and then if I'm going to cook at home, well, I got to make sure there's food there, so I got to prioritize and go get it. So, my greatest weakness, I think, inherently was that.
Has it been hard, or like?
I thought I'd lose more weight, but guess not.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm still struggling with it. Like Judith gets up. It's funny because I would beat her like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I get up earlier and when she'd wake up, but now she's beating me, and the irony that I was not, when I decided to give that up, that now she's winning. So I'm still losing at getting up. super.
So are you not a morning person?
No, I'll get up early.
You just
like 5, but she's leaving to work like at 5:30, right? So I'm talking about beating her, and to be fair, I've been going to bed super late. So that's when I get a lot of work done, is when
you stay up late,
when everybody's asleep, and I can focus and just knock those things out. Like last night I went to bed like at 5 a.m. I finished the podcast last night and posted it this morning. So I mean, and I'm editing it. Maybe that might be another weakness, is I think delegating. I need to learn how to do that better, because I think owning it has been a lot.
Well, it looks like you're doing a good job.
Well, I've got so much help. Same way you do with your family and making your event successful. You see my mom there. We bring the kids everywhere.
And that's what helps.
Us.
Like
you got to bring
when you have that. I'm telling you, for my back to school event, like if you're already having like that, there's 15 to 20 family members, like, even if it's just your mom, like you said, or your partner, you already have that help. But when your cousins and your best friends and their friends, I have a stranger that's been helping at my back to school event, and he loves it, and he's already wrote to me like, hey, I'm ready, I got 2 people. So he loves it, and it's definitely good when you have family like that, because it makes life easier, and things easier too.
Yeah, the family, my sister helps so much too. And obviously me and Judith are the tip of the spear, but okay, that's enough about me. Now on the opposite side, what's your greatest strength?
My greatest strength, I would say, honestly, my greatest strength, I would think my greatest strength is finishing what I started. So no matter in little time or a lot of time, I'm still gonna make it happen. I'm always gonna go above and beyond for anything that comes in my hands or my way. And I would say, like, just never giving up, pushing, sky's the limit, overdoing it, overstepping. I'm always gonna, be one to just make sure that it's the best of the best. So My greatest strength would just be, getting things done. Getting things done. Bottom line is making things happen. Making things happen.
Is there a quote you live by?
Yeah, that's funny because we went to Dwight, so
Don't you say it.
yeah,
I would
do
do my very, very best.
Yeah, so
Give us some. Dude,
yes,
all I'm going to
honestly,
say is I've been saying that since kindergarten.
yeah.
First grade, because Mr. Fonseca was at Kindred.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was only one. It was only very best, and then he made yes, right? He said very, very best. Yes.
Yeah. So it just every day.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And for some of y'all that don't know, Dwight Middle School, we had a principal, great principal, Thomas Fonseca, and he would always say it every day over the announcements. Every day it was like the announcements, and then I would do my very, very best. Test, always, always, always. So, yeah, I when my son was making his logo and all that, he said, "What do you mean? Like, what should I?" I said, "Well, all-in-one marketing. I did like all-in-one marketing, and because it's all-in-one, and he was making his, and then I put, what do you want to put at the bottom, like in a quote?" And he's like, an example, and I said, "Mine is I will do my very, very best." And so he put no window stays clean. Like he put something like that. And or every window stays clean or something like that. And yeah, I always use that. Always. So
Nice.
yeah, that's what I always refer to. I have a little whiteboard on my door because I have my own office, and I've been trying to put it's on a dry erase so everybody opens it or messes with it, crosses it out. But I put it the last time, so it feels good. It feels good to carry that. His quote, and we always remember it. Like I always remember it. I always remember him. I remember when they told me he passed away. When I shared the post, that's what I put. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
pretty
I
cool.
remember that. I remember he loved us. He loved the athlete. He loved
did,
the
yeah.
athletes.
Oh yeah,
and especially
with his little cart
with his
selling
cart,
all the
selling
freaking snacks,
chocolates, and he'd come and he'd make
Yeah.
a little barbecue,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially in our era, I mean, there were all the gangsters and the
yeah.
fighting and
Yeah,
I mean, whenever we would get into it with some of the other kids and fighting, and he'd pull us all in, you could tell he was like, all right, well, I'll just say I wasn't his favorite because I wasn't like the fastest.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he had a thing for his pelons, man. Like Jose Galvan, man, he was freaking fast.
Oh, I remember him,
he was-
Jose. Yeah,
and he's
tall,
like
right?
my pelon. Well, at that time he was taller than all of us because he'd already had a beard in 6th grade.
Yeah, I remember. I know his mom really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lived right there, and but you could tell he always looked after us, and he was a Southside grad and
Yeah,
athlete,
he did.
he had the best talk smacking, motivating kids, especially when you're playing against them.
Yeah.
And he was a good athlete.
Yeah,
And
he
even for
was.
his
I remember
age,
the games
he-
and
I
his
was
short
like, how the-
shorts.
his short shorts, and he would get us all
That's
riled up,
hilarious.
man,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
he
playing
would.
basketball, and
Yeah.
I'm like, Mr.
Oh my God,
Fonseca.
he would. Yeah, he was great. He was great.
Yeah.
And you see that's like, so me being in the high school now, obviously I don't know how long I'm gonna plan to be there. I just started, but I had been subbing for 3 years. So to be there full time is pretty cool. To walk the halls of my stomping grounds, and man, I will go play any kid. They don't think I can play, so they're just like, I'll be like, "Hey, you want to play 21?" And they're like, "Miss, I'm gonna beat you." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." So everybody will be watching. Sometimes I'm like, man, these kids, I give them a show. I play in the 3-point shootouts, all that. They're like, "Man, miss, I didn't know you know how to play." Like, so it just goes on in the halls, and and again, I don't know how long I'm gonna be there or plan to stay there, but I love it so far, and it's like that's what I want to implant in these kids is like, there's those teachers that are tough on them, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like them," but there's always that one person that they trust and come to. So it's pretty cool to feel that. I'm pretty sure there's more from where I came from, teachers that students love, but I know that since I've been here, I have these kids that you grow a relationship with them, and so they trust in me and come to me, and if I could take it to the office and figure it out behind, like, it escalating, then I do it. And so I think that's what I want to implant in these kids, because
Mm-hmm.
they just need some loving, some loving. It's tough loving,
Yeah.
and it is Southside, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, they need to
But-
know that the educators care.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's transformational, right? That's why you still remember I would do my very best because we all knew he cared.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, tons of other teachers who've come before him who we've walked the halls past. So, no, that's a good one. That's cool. I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah,
I'm
for
glad
sure.
you said
It's
that.
definitely my first. When you ask that, that's the first quick.
I
quick.
just me and Jonathan. Do you remember Jonathan De Hoyos? Big John. He lived right there on West Gerald.
I don't remember him right now.
White complected. We all rode the bus together.
Yeah.
But he broke the record at South San for squat, bench press, a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
But and Jonathan, he remembered the Bobcat Creed from football.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he said it on there too, and I was like, and Coach Soda's died, he passed away, but I don't know how many other football players are like, people still remember that the same way. How many people still remember?
Yeah.
I would do my very, very best.
Yeah.
And the Bobcat Creed was, I am committed, I am trustworthy, and I care. And, going back to, it's funny how that model was preached by the coaches. And the irony in it is that, it's saying, the students have to care.
Yeah.
But what the students feel the most is when the teachers care.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, that one's a good one. If you were to die today and you had one phone call before you did, who would you call?
Oh man, this is a good question. So it could only be one person, right?
Only one person.
One person. I think I would call my mom, of course, to thank her for, everything, and to call my dad and tell him, and then so forth. But it would have to be my mom because growing up, like, everybody loves their mom, but I honestly, like, till this day, there doesn't go a day that I don't talk to her, or my dad too. I call both of them every day. They call me, I call them every day. If I don't call them, like, something happened. Like, why didn't you call me, or what happened that you didn't call me? So, yeah, it would have to be my mom because she always did her best for me and my brothers and my sisters. And we even though I was in sports, like I was a fighter, so if I saw my little brother getting beat up, or not that he always got beat up, but
You were tough.
yeah, but I would always just be right there behind him.
Yeah.
And I would get spended and alternative because I was always trying to fight and help my brother. And so
He was 2 years younger than you.
So yeah, 2. And so so it would be to thank her and let her know that she did a good job with all of us and stuff like that. But yeah, so it would have to be my mom, most definitely. Yeah.
Whose death greatly affected you?
Whose death greatly affected me? So I would say my best friend Joey's, only because we were young, so I only remember like partying and the good times we had. So when he took his own life and we were young, and I was like, I didn't see the signs. I saw his struggles and everything he went through. Again, so young. Like, I remember my mom had to go to court for him, because his parents were, not around or available. So I would think it was that because, we see our aunts dying, or, our uncles, older people. So for it to be someone, around my age, like, was just unbelievable as far as, like, why, like, why now? And so he didn't have no family or anything like that. Like, I remember I had his ID, I had everything, his wallet, so young, and again, now, obviously losing a friend, we can deal with it and we have our wives and so forth. But at the time, I only had my son's mom, and my son, of course. So I didn't want him to see me the way, I was. And I didn't think it was going to take that much of an effect on me. But my parents were already split up. And so, yeah. And it was like, where are we going to have it? And this. And so I was so young, honestly. Like, now that I'm going back, I mean, I always think about him, right? But now that I'm going back to think about it, like, I had to be calling, like, where are we going to have it? And, where are we going to have the funeral? And are we going to have a funeral? Is he getting cremated? And so I had I had a plate sale for him. And, we had it at St. Clair. Me and my dad, literally, we just bought burgers. My dad told me he would help me. Man, now people sell hundreds, burgers. And I think we sold like 30 to 50, and to us, that was a lot. Like, yeah, so his death really affected me in a sense of like, we were so young, why he did it and stuff like that. And so but he has a son now, and he's big. He's 13. So it's pretty cool to get to see him and talk to him, you know what I mean? Yeah, his son came to my back to school event, and he loved it and stuff. So but yeah, so I have a tattoo he did. And so it's funny because it's on my leg, and he kept bugging me. And then, like, I got a tribal on my whole leg, and I told the guy, can you go, like, around it? Because it's like a sugar skull, like a dumb sugar skull. And, yeah, so I'll always remember that. And then on my left side, I did cover that because it said One Love. But it didn't look like it said anything. So I got that covered up. But, yeah, so at least I have a tattoo that he did on me. And so... But yeah, that was my the hardest death that I had to deal with, is losing, a best friend. I got to carry him. So it's crazy because I remember, like, he always carried me, drunk and stuff. So it was kind of cool. But again, like, I was grateful to have him as a friend though, and stuff like that. So, but that was my hardest death that I had to deal with. Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Why?
Because without him, I wouldn't be here where I'm at right now. And I mean, I'm always like I'm always like thanking God for, where I'm at now in life. There's random times I'll be like, thank God, like, I did this because I have this luck, or I'm always like, thank God for this, or blessed. And, without God, anything wouldn't be possible. So, I just, sometimes I pray hard for the things I have. And sometimes I pray for other people that are going through it, or, I'm always just like, thank God. So, but yeah, I definitely, wouldn't be where I am at today if it wasn't, for God.
Is there a parable or a Bible verse or a story in the Bible that resonates with you?
Not really. I'm not gonna lie. I've never, besides when I go to church and like, but I've never really looked into the Bible like deep like that. I mean, of course, like, I always hear like here and there, but that I can think off the top of my head, I really wouldn't know any one of them. Yeah.
What has your faith journey looked like?
My faith journey, as far as like church and like godly, or
whatever,
just like
whatever your journey has looked like, whether it's going to church, whether it's
so just my faith journey, honestly, is always just do right by people, do right by anybody that crosses your path, because as long as you're doing that, and then like it's living proof. Like, I've been through a lot of struggles, whether it's with friends, family, some of the bestest friends I've had, my family. But it's just like always just being like positive. Like, no matter what you're going through, or no matter what they put you through, you got to just continue to see the positive in them and you, and if in what's going on at the moment. Because if you just let God handle it and keep going, like, he will be in your favor. And I hate to the whole like karma thing. It's I don't wish bad upon anybody, but I do know that as long as I keep like doing what I gotta do, and God will be on my side. And honestly, like, I've been, there's times where, you know, when I have my back to school events, when I have I feed the homeless, I gave back to the VFW on Thanksgiving. And so, you know, everyone's like, you're always going to get blessed. Like, that's something that everybody says. You're going to get blessed. God's going to bless you one day. And it's true because, you know, so a lot of my faith, to answer your question, is just doing right by people, and, you know, and they'll do right by you. And I strongly believe in that because, you know, something always works out in my favor. And I'm always just blessed to be like, man, like, it's just crazy how things work and maneuver because, you know, by just doing right by people, like, it always comes back, you know. So I'm just going to keep being positive, and no matter what comes my way or gets thrown at me, you know, you just got to keep your head up and stuff like that.
Okay. What do you remember about like your best memory as most popular at Southside? Your senior year. What was your
Oh
not
my
even your
God,
senior year,
that's
but
that-
just like in general, one memory that's like, man, they can't take that away from you.
Man, so my best memory about being, you know, the most popular back, you know, during high school would be mainly like just after game day. After game day, you know, it was always the hype from the teachers, the hype from, you know, just the next day, just walking the halls, knowing we won, knowing everybody, you know, I always had the high school parties too. So, you know, that was another thing is like, just throwing the parties. Like that goes back to like my parents. They were so cool. Like, you know, we would go, they would be right there watching like securities and, you know, making sure everybody's good. And I'm like, it was just mainly basketball, like being, you know, hey, I made this many 3-pointers and stuff like that. So being the most popular, yeah, that's one of the things is just, everybody, like, you know, I talk to all kinds of people. I talk to everybody, and, I always volunteered for stuff. And, even at Dwight, I think they had a great program when we would have to go help, the special ed unit, playing sports. And so I also loved that in high school, and I continue to help now. And
Who's
so
the coach at Dwight?
at the Coach Valerie.
Oh, Valerie.
Yeah, Coach Valerie, and then Ortiz, Jones, all them.
Jones, yeah.
Yeah, and then high school was Coach Reen and Sanchez, and then Reen retired. So, but yeah, some of the best memories was basketball. You know, getting signs made, and I would have different girls holding up signs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to see Coach Valerie not too long ago. She was at Mr. Elias's 75th birthday party.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's
Her,
cool.
Mr. Tamez, do you remember Mr.
Oh
Tamez?
yeah, Mr. Tamez.
He's gonna come on the podcast too.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think, you know, they're getting up there in age now, you know.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Tamez, Mr. Elias.
That is crazy, man. When I saw Liz here, I was freaking out. Like, you know, because, I mean, those are the teachers you remember. Like, sometimes some people ask me, and I'm like, I don't remember that teacher. Especially at South San, there's so many. But, like, in middle school, there was, like, you had them 6th, 7th, and 8th. Or Miss Kramer. You remember Miss
I
Kramer?
remember Kramer, Freak the Mighty. We read that book.
But yeah, Mr. Elias, seeing him here was great. Miss Marsha was here as well. But yeah, I at high school right now, Angie was there when I was there, so she's still there in the front. So yeah, so it's good. It's good seeing the, you know what my favorite part is about seeing teachers that it's like them acknowledging where you're at now in life. You know, you just tell them like a 5-minute story about what you're doing now currently, and that's it. They love it, and I knew you were gonna do good, and I'm proud of you. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But I have coaches on my Facebook. I have teachers. I have Coach Valerie, Coach Ortiz, and from time to time everybody pops in and shows me love. So. You know, I love it, and it's cool. So I think that's the best part about working at South San too. Is like, you know, I see coaches that coached me when I was there, and they're counselors now, and you know, other things, and so it's good to see a familiar face.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
This next part is a little bit more rapid fire. Favorite band of all time?
My favorite band would be Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Nice. Favorite song?
From Slipknot or like from anybody?
Okay, we'll do favorite song from Slipknot because I like Slipknot too. And then we'll do favorite song of all time.
Okay, so my favorite song of all time from anything is "Or Nah" by The Weeknd. So that's my favorite song of all time. I love The Weeknd. I have EXO here. I've been to his concerts. But I love that song. And then I picked Slipknot because like you said band, so like
Like rock band.
yeah, like rock band. So that's what I was more like thinking, like damn Linkin Park,
Yeah,
like
Linkin Park.
System of a Down, but
Right.
but that's not the music I listen to. Like that's just the band
That came to
when
mind.
band came to mind. Yeah.
Favorite movie of all time?
Oh my god, you have to guess this one. What do you think my favorite movie is? Come on.
Love and Basketball.
Yes.
Oh, I knew it. Look at that.
Yes.
Because everybody on that basketball team loved that
Yes,
movie.
honestly,
the whole basketball team
Love
loved
and
that.
Basketball is my all-time favorite. Like, who you going to prom with, and it's like Spalding, and I didn't know Nike made dresses, and the whole "Can we kiss for 5 seconds?" like all that good stuff. So that's my favorite movie till this day. Till this day, it's my favorite movie. I love it.
Yeah. Favorite actor of all time, or actress?
My favorite actress. My favorite. Let's see. I would honestly say The Rock. The Rock. I love him in all his movies and stuff like that. And then I never was a wrestling fan, but I mean, obviously we know do you smell what The Rock is cooking? But movies, when he's in movies, I think they're like dope, and he's a good actress. And
Yeah.
So The Rock. Yeah, I would have to go with The Rock.
Favorite book of all time?
My favorite book. So, my favorite book will be. Let's see. Honestly, my favorite book was the 50 Shades of Grey.
I've never seen it.
You never?
No, I've never seen it. I mean, I've
So read
I've
the
heard a
book.
lot about it.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, to be
So
fair,
you actually read the book?
yes, it's
Okay.
actually better than the video or than the movie.
Mhm.
But I only read it because I watched the movie, and then
Okay.
I was like, let me go read it. So yeah, it's my
So
favorite.
the book's actually better.
Yeah. Besides Captain Underpants.
What makes the book better?
Just more detailed, more like more. I mean, no, like more detailed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
more like
yeah.
so. Yeah, it had to be that book, and that's because like that's probably one of the latest books I've had read. So,
Oh, okay.
but it still would have been that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
you're like I'm gonna edit that one out. Nah, I'm just kidding.
no.
Nah, but
What's your favorite childhood show?
man. So if I'm being real, it would be like Jerry, Marty Springer. But I was never supposed to watch those, right? So I would think it would be like I used to watch Hey Arnold, Topanga. What was that show?
Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon.
Boy
I
Meets-
didn't do
Boy-
Nickelodeon.
No?
No, I did Power Rangers
Ah,
Saturday morning.
No, yeah, no. I loved, Hey Arnold.
Mhm.
I loved Arthur.
Arthur, yeah.
I loved.
Should I watch Wishbone?
Who?
Wishbone?
No,
It was
never.
like I think it's PBS.
No.
It's the little dog who goes on adventures. No.
Mm-mm, never watched that. And my favorite show though was that Boy Meets World with Topanga and all them. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't like Nickelodeon. I don't know why I didn't. I never vibed with it
Really?
because I
yeah,
guess
no,
I was
would watch.
too much into Street Fighter and fighting and
Really?
Street Fighter,
Yeah, no,
Power Rangers.
I always watched like. I remember like I would literally watch like Steve Wilkes, Maury, Jerry, all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I go to my grandpa used to watch
Really?
Jerry Springer all the time.
Yeah, I used to
We'd
love it.
Show up and more.
I used to love it,
You're
and
not
now-
the mother. You're not the father. Like, gee, I was pompo. We'd all laugh about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you promoting anything?
Yeah, so currently I promote for Ruben Reyna's Insurance. He graduated from Southside, so it's pretty cool to work with him. And then Size Tax Services, so that's actually Tasha's mom. So she's
Cool.
been in my life my whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to be working for her. And then I also do credit repair for Roxana Cunha. So she went to South Santa as well, and she does really great credit repair. She has payment plans and fast like results. And then I'm also marketing for my friend's Moonbounce company. I do marketing for a smoke shop my friend owns. He owns that and a barber shop. So it's pretty cool because he is has multiple and he has one in Nagaritos now. So it's pretty cool. Of course I got the exclusive way. So I had to put my nephew on here. So that's the best
his
marketing
shop?
right here. Yeah,
That's
that's
his
my
shop
nephew's
right
shop.
there?
hmm
That's cool.
Yeah, so he cuts up Keldon Johnson
Oh,
for the
really?
Spurs, yeah, and then the announcers and a whole bunch of cool people. So I've met a lot of people through him. Keldon Johnson came to my event last year, so it was like crazy, of course, yeah. And then so I also do marketing for my friend. It's called G Boys Table Rentals. So they rent tables and chairs, and then just right now, and then for April, Live from the Southside, of course. Off the top of my head, what else? What else? What else? That's pretty much it right now at the moment, you know. But of course, I mean, I always market for everyone, you know. But actually, like, you know, working for them and stuff like that, the ones I first mentioned. So it's pretty cool because I mean, I get their name out there, you know. I also help my friend market for Spectrum, so you know, I'm always like sending her people that need cable, internet at home, and then cell phones. So it's pretty cool because, you know, I'm like a one-stop shop. So people come to me for everything, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like I really want to rent like a hall or something like for like activities and stuff like that. That's what people always come to me for. It's like, hey, you know, this spot I can rent, and I usually refer them to my friend Vicky. Do you remember Vicky Tobias?
Probably to see her.
I think she
to
was.
Dwight?
Yeah, and she went to Southside. But yeah, her and her wife own a hall, so try to. But I mean, I have a lot of people that I always am referring and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool because you know, I still go out of my way, like I send their number, their this pictures sometimes if I can. So yeah, but the marketing is going really good. I love it, and pretty much just I give them different options, and whatever they pick, and that's the marketing I do. But I like to go all in and show them the results, and then as soon as I do, they're like, okay, let's move on to the next package, you know. So it never stops. So it's pretty cool. Ruben actually been doing it my whole time since October, so it's about 6 months now of just marketing, and
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool. And Natasha's mom, so Size Tax Services, I've been doing hers for a while as well. And then this is my second month with the Spectrum and with the credit repair. So you know they believe in me, they trust in me, and I show them results. So that's the best part, you know, getting them these results, because that's why I do it, you know. Whether it was getting paid or not, I still like to show them like, hey, you know what, I like to help other people, so I'm helping other people by getting them, you know, what they need, the services they need, and then once they're in your hand, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So it's pretty cool.
Topics we didn't cover. Now you gave your timeline. That's pretty deep.
Pretty deep. Something we didn't cover is where my life is currently at to compare to where my life had been in the past years. Obviously, you know, I had relationships in the past. But where I'm at now, compared to, you know, like I said, the past is just a big different mindset of everything of life. And it's more, I mean, my son's been my heart, he's my everything, right? But now I have you know, now I'm married. So I never thought I'd actually get married. So now I'm married, I made it happen, you know. And then now I have 4 stepkids. So total I have 5 kids, you know, and a granddaughter. So it's pretty cool because my life changed completely from going out all the time. And don't get me wrong, that's one thing that never stopped me from doing anything, is the going out. You know, I still get up, do what I gotta do. It never came a problem. It was always just fun. You know, I loved it. I love meeting people. I love, you know, having a drink here and there. And but from where I was at to where I'm at now is, I'm a family person. I got a 6-year-old, we got my 13-year-old, I got a 15-year-old, which is my son, and then we got Mia, she's a junior, so she's 16, and then we got our 22-year-old, and then our grandbaby, she's 3. So yeah, and so my wife Steph, and she works from home, so she's always a real big help in anything I need. So like honestly, like man, she makes things easier. She's literally like my calendar. There's rarely times I put stuff in my phone, but I send it to her and she got it. She reminds me about everything, and so yeah, and she's older, so I definitely think that's where the impact is. Definitely where it was at. I was like, man, if I would have known dating someone older a long time ago, but yeah, so but it's good. It's good. My life, like I said, now it's completely like this year is every year I say like every year is my year, and it's been every year has been my year. But this year is a whole different ballgame for me. I'm working full time at Southside now currently. We got all kids in sports. I have an hour after school to get my son to practice. I pick him up at 8. We go home. If we hadn't already ate dinner before, we eat dinner and that's it. On to the next day, take a shower,
So
bed.
much, right? I mean,
I
the
try to stay
routine.
up till I can't stay up past 10. If I'm home, that's it. Like if I'm home, that's it. And there
That's
ain't
it.
no like, babe, let's watch this show together. Like, no, we're going to bed. Like we put it
Hold
on.
on, who's the old one again?
Right. By the time we put the show on, and then like we find where we left off, like
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe going to sleep. Like you said, we're gonna watch a movie, or it's me. But I'm always doing something too on the weekends and stuff like that. But lately, I've been trying to. So yesterday was my last pop up that I hosted. I'm still gonna send people, refer people, help people put them together, and all that. It's just for me myself. All the kids in sports, juggling with that. I want more to be more available. Because they're typically on the weekends, right? So I'm gonna be more available. To my little family, and then summer's coming. Gotta go. To the rivers and all that. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm not that crazy no more though.
No, that's good. You got kids to look after, and you
Yeah,
got a lot of promising future. And I mean, Jordan, I've gotten a chance to sit down and talk
Yeah.
with him, and he's a good boy. You're
Yeah,
right. I think he's got a lot of potential in whatever he decides to do.
Yeah,
Tell the way he
does.
holds himself up
Yeah.
well. You can tell the way. I mean, even with him boxing, I've seen him interact with other little kids, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He's gonna go far.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because, like, that's what I try to tell a lot of people. Is I always use my son as an example because he doesn't have a dad, so he doesn't have like the father figure in his life besides me, but an actual man, and he's like, he's a perfect example of like you don't need anybody but yourself to believe in yourself and structure, direction, and stuff like that. So, but his dad's never been in his life, and me and his mom raised him perfectly well. And I'm glad we co-parent. Her wife and my wife get along really good. We all talk, laugh. So, I think that's important in his life because he sees that, from us. So, but yeah, he's really good, So I'm lucky to have him as my son,
Yeah. Well, I'm always happy to see all the South End stories and the good things you're doing,
Appreciate
especially on TV, especially when it's not on TV and
Yeah.
nobody knows you're doing it. I think
Yeah.
those are the ones that really
Best
hold
times,
deep,
yep.
right? Especially in that when they really, really need it the most. So
Yeah.
and you've got a good boy in your hands, and I think that's a testament to the environment you've tried to help and keep for him. And
Yeah.
you're also one of the greatest basketball players I've ever known at Southside. I mean,
I appreciate
there was a
it.
bunch of them, right, that held together, but
No.
man, that was
Thank
awesome.
you.
You, Tasha, and the
Yeah,
others.
those are the good eras. I always tell everybody there, I'm like, man, I remember I used to play. I'm gonna try to play in the alumni tournament this year, so we'll see.
I don't even try.
I'm
too fat, man. I'm like,
me too. But we had played. We had a team. You know, we went all out, and you know, we thought we were still coming out like senior year, and we all got hurt. I got hurt like the first 10 seconds. Had to go to the doctor, the hospital. You know, for my knee, and Tasha, everybody. We like 4 of us got hurt, so we dropped out the whole tournament. That's when I was like, I am not about to lose my work because I can't play because I was playing basketball. Yeah. But no, I appreciate that. I appreciate you bringing me on the podcast. Can't wait to see the video.
Yeah, it'll be coming out soon. But until next time, thanks for all the help, and we're gonna miss you for the parade, but we're gonna be rooting him on in Corpus because he's gonna lay it on.
Bring home that win.
That's
we'll
right.
Come bring you a picture.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.